Good afternoon, class. Um, Thank you for coming and accessing our material for this module. This is already module 4, no? Module 4, no, no, module 5, which is already uh, talking about the agribusiness marketing systems. As what we have gone through the, if we may recall, we have gone through the 4 modules already: the introductory module, the input subsystem, and there's another module, if I may recall, and then production subsystem, and then this is the fourth one. So the agribusiness subsystem. So in this module, we will be discussing about the role of agribusiness marketing subsystem in really uh, creating value addition for agribusiness. And we will also be discussing here the strategies for the marketing strategies that can be used or that is applicable for a specific commodity in the agribusiness marketing systems or even in the production subsystems. So that at the end of this lesson, or this module rather, you would be able to understand the role of marketing of this agribusiness marketing system in the entire agribusiness system, and then we'd also be able to see the uh, elements of a workable and a competitive marketing system. And down the line, we would also you would also be learning about what are the various strategies, marketing strategies for various products in agribusiness. And then, uh, quite lengthily, also we will be discussing on the uh, the problems, no, the issues and problems and challenges of the agribusiness marketing system subsystem in the Philippines. So, so that's almost like the coverage of the course of the module in a nutshell. So, without so much ado, let's proceed with the core concepts of agribusiness marketing subsystem. Now, firstly, we need to understand the marketing sector. No, in the marketing sector, what's in it? No, what's in the marketing sector or marketing subsystem? And now, this marketing subsystem is one of the 5 aggregates in the agribusiness marketing system, or agribusiness system rather. The objective of this particular subsystem, agribusiness subsystem, is that it aims to satisfy the needs and wants of the consumers. Let me repeat that: aims to satisfy the needs and wants of the consumer. I mean, consumers of agribusiness product. Okay, so that's the role of agribusiness marketing subsystem. Now, what are the when we talk about marketing, we do have some considerations in terms of, like for example, what are we going to market in the first place? Okay, what are we going to market? Now, quite frankly and quite honestly and quite directly also, the very obvious thing, that obvious product that we need to market is agribusiness product. Now, agribusiness product comes in 3 classifications. Okay, what are the 3 classifications of agribusiness products? One is fresh agricultural products. Okay, fresh agricultural product. We also have semi-processed agribusiness products, and down the line, the last classification is we also have finished finished products in agribusiness. Now let's go through very quickly on these various types of products in agribusiness. Um, when we talk about fresh agricultural products, these are products that are raw, directly harvested from the farms. Okay, in other words, when it is fresh, it's prone to what? Spoilage, damage, and also it's prone to like post-harvest, uh, say for example, uh, handling blemishes or something like that. They do not pass higher level of transformation. In other words, from its raw state, it's marketed directly without having to undergo like heating, or say for example, so much sorting, or like it doesn't have any complicated processing, if I may say so. No, no transformation at all. No, if, for example, if it is a tuber crop, you just brush off the mud and display it as clean as possible, and that's it. No, no cooking whatsoever. It's also cleaned, sorted, and graded. It is fresh, but sorted, graded, and also cleaned. No, so that is when we talk about fresh agricultural product. Now, this is an example of fresh agricultural products. Leafy vegetables, looking fresh, succulent, and also uh, really good quality. Like that one also, these are fresh agricultural products. Farmers uh, freshly harvesting that particular vegetable or fruit, then it's packed and shipped to the market immediately. Okay, so that's kind of the nature of this particular commodity or product. So in terms of like not necessarily crabs, but for example, fishery or animal products. So you can see that very raw. It does not have an it does not it doesn't it's not refrigerated yet. In other words, no, it's just uh, freshly catch and then shipped immediately and put in a basket or whatever container you have that directly sell to the market. Okay, now those are fresh agricultural products or agribusiness products. The next is semi-processed products in agribusiness. Now, in this semi-process, obviously, because it's already semi-processed, that means it has undergone a little bit of processing. Okay, in other words, it's there are we will discuss later on that in agribusiness there are various levels of processing. You know, various levels. In fact, there are four levels of processing. You have first level, second, and the fourth up to the fourth level. Now, in this semi-processed products, it has underwent second level of processing or transformation. Now, what do you mean by second level processing? Maybe it has undergone cutting, okay, cutting or chopping or something like that. So that is second level already because sorting is already first level. No, now the inputs for industry. This one is going to be used as inputs for industry. Okay, and then may not be consumed directly. May not be consumed. Maybe some can be consumed directly, but more often than not, since it is an input for industry and processing, it's going to be used as input. It's still not a finished product yet. So this is an example of a semi-processed products. Abaca fiber, for example. Abaca fiber in its raw state or semi-processed state, it's just fiber, a hunk of fiber actually, dried uh, already dried, of course, no. So drying is actually a practice for second level processing already. No, you can see the fiber uh, maybe tied together and dried for to take out moisture. No? So that is an example. Another example is if you want to grind, for example, obe, no obe, or yeah, purple yam. So the ground obi, or no, the ground obi, or maybe coffee, the ground beans of coffee. It's a semi-process. It's not a no, it's not a uh, finished product yet. Unless you're going to cook that, then you can eat that already. But at this particular stage, it's not fit for direct eating or consumption. No, that is semi-process. This is also a semi-process. No, semi-process. A yarn of say for example textile. Then you have this one. This particular picture gives you an idea that you have here a a fresh uh, you have a pulp of fresh pulp of jackfruit, and then you also have a fresh jackfruit, and you have a dried jackfruit. No, so you have all the different levels of processing here. No, you can see that from the 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 down the leftmost the down the down the leftmost portion down the line. No, leftmost portion is a semi-process where you have to depulp the jackfruit. But this one at the middle is actually a fresh jackfruit. This is a fresh agribusiness product. But you can see those products on top. These are already finished and ready to eat products from jackfruit. No, so while the next type of classification or the next type of agribusiness product is finished product. Now, this finished product can be consumed by the buyers already. So this is really can be consumed or can be readily used for whatever purpose it may serve. No? But it's not intended for further processing. Once it is finished, then that's the end point of that particular product. No, so it's finished product, ready to eat or ready for use, whatever intended utility it may serve. No? So an example of this would be this one. You have cheddar cheese. You can see it's just already placed on top of what is this? This is puto, no? So when you put that there and then bake for quite a while, and then you can eat that directly. Okay, and then another finished product is yogurt. No, it's just an example. No? So you have there when you open the container, you can eat that directly. No, and then this one also are sorts of different kinds of finished product, canned finished products. No? So these are examples of finished product. It's good. It's the final stage of processing already, ready for eating already. No? Another type of finished product is sausage or other types of meat products. No? These are for direct consumption already. Now, in finished products, there are also those products that are not edible, but it is already uh, it is already in its final state of processing. Like for example, from rubber gum and then to rubber tires, no, to rubber tires that's used for cars and airplanes. So when you harvest the rubber, you can get the what's the you call this the rubber sap, no, the rubber sap, and then you process that. Uh, it will undergo a certain processing, and you get the rubber gum, no, the rubber gum. From there, you use that for tire manufacturing. That is now the finished product. So you can use that for to fit in your cars or you fit in your whatever your agricultural implements or machines. So this is also a finished product from natural fibers like piña or pineapple. And this finished product is barong already. It's already sewn for a specific design, and you have embroidered one. This is a product already finished product from the natural fiber of pineapple. No, so the the semi process is just the raw fiber of pineapple and then woven into fine particles or fine texture. Then you get the complete clothes, no, the barong or something like that. And then you have you have the different agribusiness products, the three types of agribusiness products. Then we go into how are we going to market these different types of products? Okay. What, in other words, how are we going to market and what are the various marketing activities that are needed in order to consummate the marketing activity, in order to consummate the exchange process happening in a market or in a marketing transaction. Okay, so there are three types of marketing activities that will complete the uh, exchange process or the transaction from the hands of the producer or seller down to the hands of the buyer. The first marketing activity is transactional activity. Okay. The second is physical handling and distribution activity. And then the other types of marketing activity is facilitating activity. Let's discuss them one by one. No, so in a transactional activity, okay, transactional activity. This is an activity that responsible in the making the exchange process happen. In other words, it leads to the transfer of ownership from the seller to the buyer. Now, the transfer or the exchange process involves the product and then the money, okay, the payment. So there is flow of product and there is also a corresponding flow of money or payment, no payment. So that's exchange. There is also transfer of ownership. Okay, you have to remember that. Take note of that very carefully. In a transactional activity, this cannot happen without uh, transfer of ownership. Okay, and then it also involves two types of two exchange in the opposite sides of the equation. You have the product transfer and the money transfer or the payment transfer. Okay, now in a transactional activity also it involves buying and selling, negotiation. Syempre, the tawad, you have to make tawad to the one selling, and the risk taking. Okay, if you are selling, that means to say you have to be very sure that it's free from blemish, good quality, and whatever damage, if the customer or if the buyer rejects that, and that's your cost, that's your marketing cost. But if the exchange process already had happened and the damage happened during or took place at the hands of the buyer, then it's the buyer's risk. There is risk taking also, sharing of risk when the transactional activities are consummated. What are the transactional activities? Buying, selling, negotiation, and risk taking. Okay. What are the requirements for transactional activities? There is exchange, transfer of ownership, and there is transfer of payment and transfer of product also. Okay. Now, just like this one, this is an example of a transactional, like for example, activity. Okay. Sometimes after paying, you shake hands or you say thank you or something like that. It's a conclusion of the transaction activity. Okay. You uh, you negotiate and you bargain, and then you finally decide to buy. Then that's part of the transaction activity. No? So the next activity, marketing activity, is what we call as physical handling and distribution activity. Okay? These activities involves physical possession of the product. In other words, you have the product maybe in bulk, and then you kind of store that in your bodega, in your warehouse, and then you maybe sort that, grade, in order to, uh, earn more, like for example, value of that particular product. The storing, the assembling, and even the transporting is physical handling and distribution activity. So there is physical what? Physical handling. Maybe you sort out and then you pack, and then what? You pack and then you classify which is small, medium, and large, so that maybe from the farm you bought it ungraded. Now in your hands, you grade, you sort, and then separate according to sizes, and then you bring that to the market for more diverse margin that can be generated out of from your activity. Then that's physical handling. Okay, simply doing something in order to make the product in order to generate more value addition to the product. Okay, now unfortunately, this is an example of physical handling of the product that is only, only, I think only in the Philippines. I hope, no, because they handle pigs, bring the pigs to the market, but the pig is really tied upside down, no. So it's very dangerous for the pigs, and put in a habal-habal ride and bring that to the market. The pigs is tied upside down. Can you imagine? No, very very unkind, no, and it's not good to to have this kind of physical handling activity, because it creates a lot of stress to the pig or to the swine. Then it will also make the meat of the pork spoil very quickly, because blood flows into many of the muscle strands of the animal, and that's not good. So another physical handling activity is, like for example, this poultry houses. They load their uh, say for example chicken into that hauler truck, and then in groups, and bring that to the dressing plant. No, that's okay. No, that's okay. There, or even a herd of pigs, load into the truck and bring that to it wherever market it may be needed. No, so that is also a physical handling, assembly point for further selling. No, storage is actually physical handling also. And then you have here an example also of physical handling, no? So that you have something for in preparation for the market. Maybe you pack that and then put that in several boxes. Then you have physical handling, no? So that is as far as physical handling is concerned. Very important for physical handling. In other words, that activity is going to do something for the product in preparation for further market. Okay, either you transport that, you sort that, you grade that, and something like that. No, you pack that into desired packages. No, so the last marketing activity is facilitating activities. No, these are activities that create faster and more efficient performance of the transactional and physical handling. Facilitating, in other words, it facilitates the transaction and also the physical handling. A good example of this is you advertise, okay, you facilitate the transaction. So in other words, you provide information to the buyers in order for the buyers easy choice for which product to buy, something like that. No, so it facilitates more efficient performance of transactional, because if you buy something and you are uninformed buyers, then that's because of the a very effective facilitating work in the market. No, and then uh, it also provides market information like price and quality. So these are very essential information: price, quality, volume. Okay, and then financing also is a very important facilitating activity, because it facilitates what, the transaction to happen. Because when you buy, you need money. If you're buying in bulk, you need letters of credit. That letters of credit is guaranteed by the financing institution. So you can you can consummate the selling process of the transaction. Provision of marketing support facilities. Okay, maybe a cold chain facilities, you provide that. And then of course endorsement and promotion, that is facilitating activity. Now, some of these marketing activities facilitating might not be an income generating, and some of these can also be an income generating activity. But those that are, I would say, public or non-income generating, cannot be privatized. These are done by the government. Like government can do market information dissemination. Okay, so that there's going to be equal, like level of playing marketing transaction. There is equal, like for example, access to information, so that there wouldn't be any player in the market that is unduly also making themselves rich at the expense of another player. There should be a level playing field in the market, and that's what the government is doing, providing market information, providing consumer awareness. These are facilitating activities. No, so if you can look at the picture, the endorsement of this guy is very powerful to really effect what? To effect transactions in the market. You will say, oh, this product is being used by Pilo Pascual, by Manny Pacquiao. So you tend to really imagine that maybe it's good to use that kind of product, something like that, no? And then another one is when this particular guy handles, or shall I say, is seen handling or been drinking this kind of product, people will have to think twice, and then of course becoming curious about maybe this product is good because it is being endorsed by this particular, for example, like personality. Like in this picture, you can see the honorable mayor of Ormoc also endorsing our product. No, so when you see a person like that, very influential, so you can say, oh, it's good. Maybe this kind of product is good because Richard Gomez is buying it or is really using it or something like that. No? So it's a facilitating work in the market happening. No, a product endorsement which facilitates agribusiness marketing transaction. That is a facilitating activity or function. No? So another is financing the bank, the cooperative bank, or any particular facilities, or even providing cold chain facilities like market storage. Okay, and then we have discussed the different types of product, the different types of marketing activities. Now we will discuss on the who are the players in the marketing subsystem or marketing sector. Who are the key players? Okay, who uh, runs or make marketing activities happen in the market. Okay, number one of those key players will be the the input. No, the input is at the input sector. You have uh, who are the personality, who are the players at the input sector? You have the manufacturers of fertilizer, manufacturers of other inputs, dealers and brokers. Okay, you have that. These are the players at the input sector. There are also players at the output or production or farm sector. Okay, who are they? In the Of course, the farmers, no, the farmers, the transport provider, and of course the other workers in the industry, the uh, the 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 farmers, the transport providers, and even the different personalities and institutions working at the various stages of the production process, like those that are providing services for harvesting, those that are providing facilities for like land preparation. These are some of the players in the marketing or in the farm sector. Okay, now in the farm sector specifically, you have the middlemen also. When you have production or you produce something, you need middlemen to bring your products to the market. The brokers, the buyers, and the dealers. When you have this particular product in the farm sector, you have some distributor, dealers, and middlemen in order to connect you to the market. Okay. Now you have the input sector, the what the say output sector or output subsystem, the mid the number, or shall we say the various players, and you also have the processing and marketing subsystem, where there are players there who are middlemen, assemblers, wholesalers, retailers, agents, and even brokers also. Okay, these are the players across the various segments or subsystem in the entire agribusiness system. Okay, for assemblers, this could be rural traders. Okay, what's the function of assemblers? These are rural traders who accumulate produce from individual farmers and bring that to the market in bulk for storage or whatever distribution strategies it may need. No, now just like this one, these are early morning assembly of green jackfruit from certain municipality in Leyte. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Farmers are arriving, bringing few pieces of green jackfruit. These are jackfruit for vegetables. Now, by early morning, as soon as before sunrise, these jeepney loads of green jackfruit will be brought to Tacloban for retailing. Okay, into jackfruit for vegetable. No, these are green jackfruit. So early dawn assembly. Now, very early before sunrise, bring the assembled volume to the retail market. So that's exactly what retailers and wholesalers do. So this one, you can see the same pictures, and also that one, yes. Then the wholesalers, they do not deal with end users, but they deal with farmers and they buy in bulk, no? And then also, these are examples of wholesalers. Sometimes wholesalers specialize for a particular product. Like, for example, for vegetables, you can see specialized wholesalers, which means to say they specialize only in all eggplant. So you can only see in their stall eggplant in voluminous quantity because they buy in bulk. Okay, and this eggplant will now be retailed to various retailers. No, and then they do this for a specific reason that there are only very few of them that they sell in bulk. No? Or they sell and they buy and sell in bulk. No, in retailers. Okay, wholesalers, assembler, wholesalers, and then retailers also very important players in the market. Now, in for retailers, there are various retailers. You have the ambulatory retailers, those retailers that yung naglalako sa kalye, no, di ba? Naglalako ng vegetable. So, yan, mga retailers 'yon. But you can also the modern retailers, you can also see the modern retailers, those that you can see in the supermarket. It's packed and then placed in a very like for example attractive say for example shelves, and then wrap with a cling wrap, and then very nice to look at. Okay, and they directly deal with end users, kaning mga retailers, either kanang small retailers or huge or upscale retailers you can see in the market or in the supermarket. They buy in bulk and repack and products for easier selling. No, they buy in bulk, these huge retailers, but they sell in packets or in small packs for their customers. Okay, and then you have agents and brokers, the one that really facilitates the negotiation. These are mga shall we say players in the market. And then after that, this you have players, they have marketing activities. Then we are now ready to understand the various marketing functions. Okay, various marketing functions. What are the various marketing functions? One is negotiation. The other one is assembly. And the one is grading, storage, and processing. You can also think about financing as a marketing function, packaging or repackaging, or even risk taking or risk bearing, so that as the product transits from one player to another, it also carries with it risk taking. Not only there is transiting of like for example, physical product, but it also carries with it the associated risk of transport, risk of storage, etc. No, because there is transfer of ownership going on. Market intelligence also, market research is also a marketing function. Promotion is also a marketing function. Okay, you promote the product, you advertise, you uh, do some endorsement. That is marketing function. And then, when it comes to grading, we know already that when you grade, you really sort which one is fitted to your customer. From huge bulk packaging, you sort that out, grade, and pack in small packages that is readily affordable by your customer. Okay, the grading can be in terms of sizing, in weighing, and on your own overall. It can also be in terms of quality, like you have first class, second class, third class, or something like that. Or in weight, you have also in, like for example those that are, for example, 1 kilogram, and then 2 kilograms. You have two in 1 kilo, in one, or half kilo, half a kilo. These are assortment of various grades with various price attached to it. Okay, it can also be sorted in terms of size: small, medium, large, jumbo, whatever. No, so these are grading. Okay, now the different products comes in different styles, or shall I say strategies of grading. For mango, you have also first class, second class, and that classification, or that particular classification, has also specific, like for example, sizes. Okay, in third class, there's also a particular description, and that those with severe and unbearable blemishes or deformed appearance can be rejected in the buying process. No, so something like this. Different grades comes in different, say for example, definitions. No? Then retailing also it can be retailed according to sizes, according to weight, and also according to quality. Then undersize or underweight will suffer that rejection. And you know what? Especially for fruits and vegetable, when it is already undersized or underweight, what the retailers will do, they cut it, sell it as fresh cut. Okay, and it comes in like providing a higher value because it's sold fresh cut. Okay, fresh cut, and then put in a styrofoam, and then with cling wrap, it appears any of the other kind of uh, uh, fresh selling, very attractive kind of, like for example, product or fruit. No, but those that are heavily damaged will suffer the rejection from customers. Okay. So these are weight classes and different grades of different products. No? There are three types of agribusiness products we have discussed: fresh farm products, semi-fresh farm products. Now, also you have processed products or finished product. Now, you might ask this question: What? Ano-ano mga strategies that parang pwedeng magamit sa various products? Or what could be some of the marketing strategies that is applicable, that is appropriate for any particular product? Well, to answer that, we might as well discuss the various marketing strategies for various kinds of agribusiness products. Fresh, first we need to see that products can be packed in bottles, can be packed in a cling wrap, can be packed in boxes or what have you. No, so it comes in various forms and appearance. Now, also it can be liquid, it can be powder, or it can be like a solid or something, granules or something like that, or it can be what? It can be in pellets also. No, these are the different types of products. Okay, these different types of products will also allow us to see, like for example, will allow us to understand various issues and also challenges in the market. Remember that for fresh agricultural product, what do you think is an appropriate marketing strategy? The appropriate marketing strategy there will be to bring the product to the market as fast as possible because it is fresh and really it spoils very quickly. Okay, you don't need to store them very long because otherwise it will lose its freshness. No, so that's very quickly. In semi-processed products, the quality is really very important. Quality, because the quality means it will impact on storage life if it is of good quality. While in processed and finished product, papasok doon yung klase ng packaging. Packaging is very important for finished and processed agribusiness product. Ganda ng packaging, very attractive. It sells in the market very quickly. And of course, when you have packaging, it also comes with like, what are the functionalities of your packaging material? Maybe your packaging material can be reused. Customers can be attracted to buy that kind of product, not only because of the specific product content that you have, but they are attracted also to the kind of packaging. That's what is happening to bottled mineral water, because the plastic bottle there can be reused, so they can still make use of that even after consuming the water content inside, or any other types of product. For finished product, we have to take note of that very important quality or say characteristic, no, or elements of salability. No, now let's come to issues in agribusiness marketing systems in the Philippines. Now, there are various issues. You have inefficiency, you have dependence on middlemen. No, very dependent tayo sa mga middlemen. No, so and of course, when you talk about inefficiency, you talk about failure of the source of the producer to bring the to bring the produce to the market at the time it is needed. Okay? At the time it is needed, pag sinasabi ng buyer na your product must get into our shop in 2 hours after harvest. So if you cannot meet that, forget about selling. Maybe you can sell close by only, because what is important to them is freshness and quickness, no? So that is very important character. If you fail to meet that, you are inefficient, then it's a no go. They will not buy your product, no? Another issue is of inefficiency is that you have uh, the kind of post harvest handling that you have. Okay, post harvest handling, the bulkiness of agribusiness product. If it is too bulky, you have to think about bringing the product as quick as possible to the market. Otherwise, you run the problem of like spoilage. So that in order to avoid inefficiency, distance of the farm to major market is very critical. No, distance. That's why in a lot of times we really need middlemen also, because they perform. They provide a solution to space utility. In other words, space your distance from the farm to the market. The middleman will bring that there, and it provides the connectedness or connectivity between the buyer and the seller and the buyer. No? Now, what about this dependence on middlemen? No? Very, you can count by your finger any particular product of agribusiness that does not depend on or do not depend on middlemen. Halos lahat, no? Kuanjud sa middlemen. They're really tied up to middlemen. Some middlemen are necessary, but we have to be very aware and we have to be very careful also. There are also middlemen that through the inefficiencies in the market. But otherwise, if everything is fair and square from the seller and the buyer, the logical or the those essential middlemen will really survive in the business of the agribusiness. No? Now, smallness of farmers and the scale of operation, this is also kind of the reason why we need middlemen, because the buyer needs quantity. If you are only selling few kilograms, forget about dealing with supermarket, because supermarket needs quantity, and not only quantity, consistency. Okay, just like for example, we had this discussion with John Gaisano of Gaisano Metro Gaisano in Tagum City in Davao, and he told us that, oh, I need to talk to your association, vegetable association, and then he honestly and bluntly told the farmers, "You are all vegetable farmers, and you intend to sell to my supermarket?" The farmers said, "Yes, sir, yes, sir." Okay, if you really want to sell, I only need to talk to one person. What does it mean? No, he only needs to talk to one person. In other words, the message across is that you better cluster, you better assemble into one group and pull your products together and let one person negotiate to John Gaisano, so that there wouldn't be any inconsistency in the negotiation process. You get the very word in one fair square deal with him. And he said also that do not come to my shop if you can only sell, for example, 500 kilos, and that's the only quantity that you have. You have to be very consistent. If I say deliver 500 kilos every month, you have to deliver every month. If you cannot satisfy that, forget about selling to my shop, according to him, which is really a very clear and very business-like transaction. But if you can satisfy that, you will get a good return from dealing with this upscale market also. So it's very impractical to market the end consumers with a small produce. That's why very important by middlemen to assemble products and then sell in appropriate volume or quantity. No, so also in in uh, in the market, if if you sell to upscale market, okay, very important also is if you volume, if you have to take note that uh, the the buyer will buy in bulk but will not pay on the dot. For example, if you go there Wednesday morning, and then the one truckload of vegetable that you have, do not expect that you will be paid that Wednesday morning also by the buyer. There is what we call as processing period, and more often than not, they will pay every week or every 15 days, every 2 weeks. So you have to be ready because the farmers actually wants the money now. Of course, if you are only selling one sack of, for example, corn grits, what you cannot wait for 2 weeks before getting the payment. What's the message behind? You have to cluster, you have to group together, and then the supplier that you have, the small supplier that comes to your association or group, then you pay them there, assure them of maybe advance payment, and then sell your product, and it will now be the association who will guarantee, okay, the farmers. And do not, wag mong ibitin ang farmer na siyempre bread and butter o bread, hindi nga bread and butter yun eh. Rice and fish kasi yun lang ang produce niya, no? So he wants the money now, but uh, the buyer, the supermarket or the wholesaler in upscale market, it is not to say that they are not willing to pay on the dot. No, it's not. They have the money. Why will they delay the payment? They delay the payment because they will process your product once it gets into their warehouse, sort, grade, and then the various grading will be paid according to grades. That's how they process. And because of the so many suppliers that they have, it will take maybe 1, 2 days, or even 3 days before your product can be finally processed in their system. Okay, it will be stored, no problem about it, but processing, the administrative, the work that is needed will take a day or two, or even 3 days or 4 days, because they have so many suppliers, vegetables, meat, you have many other things, no? So that's why it will take maybe, if you can get the payment in maybe a week, that's the fastest ever in an upscale market, wholesale market. But more often than that, it's every 2 weeks. Is okay already. We have dealt with Metro Gaisano in Cebu for vegetables like tomatoes, beans, and several other cabbage, or say for example bell peppers and lettuce, for example. Even this time, we are still dealing with them from the farmer groups that we are helping in Ormoc. The cycle of payment is 1 month, but boy, you should be ready because they want volume. So it's going on even until this time. But the association will guarantee the payment of the farmers. That's a relationship of a middleman with a farmer that is very essential. Okay? Dili na siya pwede. Hindi pwede yung laway lang ang kapital. Uh, it will there will come a time na you will be wiped out in the transaction activity. Kasi wala kang puhunan eh. Wala kang kapital. So you have to have some service in order to become essential in the transaction process, no? So that's it, no? And then you also have uh, the middleman also is very important in providing awareness to the customer, no? Providing awareness, because it's the middleman gives you the quality, quantity, and the price information. Okay, and then the middleman also provides for example, uh, provides the bridge in being able to participate in the marketing process. Sometimes the middleman even participates in the harvesting process. They'll be the one to harvest, provided that they get the bulk of your product. Okay, now that's one issue, or second issue rather, in the agribusiness marketing subsystem. Now, the other issue is talking about issues at the farmer's level. What are the issues at the farmer's level? Now, one of the lingering and recurring issues at the farmer's level is low price of agricultural produce. Okay, low price of agricultural produce, and the price is also squeezed to the point that it's already palugi the price. You what? You inventory. You ask around, survey around for coconut farmers if they are not complaining about the price. Or they didn't. Oh, the copra is really the buying price of copra is very low, so we are losing. That's their usual complaint. It's because they do not have the control of the price. Low produce, especially for low value adding. If you sell raw, well, that's the normal tendency is you will have a high marketing cost if you are the buyer because it's raw. You need to process it. But if you sell partially processed product, okay, if you sell partially processed product and a stable form at that, you can address the low price problem in at the farmer's level. Like for example, for coconut, no, for coconut. If you sell, for example, copra, copra is perishable and I mean easily contaminated with aflatoxin. But if you sell, for example, crude coconut oil, or if you sell, say, for example, desiccated coconut, which is just grating and drying, and it's very stable form, then the price is different. Okay, so it's really just a strategy how to reform your product, no, so that it can command a better price in the market. But you cannot expect farmers to do this individually. That's why the normal platform or paradigm now is clustering of producer groups into various, we call it uh, agribusiness business cluster. This is one very important strategy, and the Department of Agriculture now is advocating that through the leadership of our the Honorable Secretary Dr. William Dar. No, so another problem in at the farmers level is lack of buyers, lack of buyers or market. No, uh, it's actually a mismatch between what is produced and what is required by the buyers. You know what? We were what we were doing or we were assisting farmer groups from various areas or parts of the region in the eastern Visayas on this particular crop, cacao, no, doing strategic investment, like for example, analysis using value chain in the eastern Visayas. And we know, we have seen the market. There's a huge market for cacao beans. But what is happening around? Farmers are complaining, where is the market? We cannot sell our cacao beans. So what seems to be wrong in the process? There is a disconnect between the producer and the buyer, precisely because the unang-una, the buyers or the producers are selling not the right volume of cacao. That's one thing. What are they selling? Small cacao farmers sells only few gantas of cacao beans or maybe few kilos, not even 50 kilos of cacao beans every month. That's not the right quantity that the buyer needs. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing, the farmers are producing also not the right quality of cacao beans that the buyer needs. Okay? Can you imagine? The market can absorb at any given time. No, the market can absorb at any given time. In Eastern Visayas alone, 5 million kilos every month. Can you imagine that huge market? But how come the farmers are complaining? Where is the market? We cannot sell our cacao beans. So, dalawang rason pa lang yun. Meron pang iba. the farmers, okay, the farmers are doing inappropriate post-harvest facilities. Like for example, in the grinding, like for example, the selling, there are a lot of say for example rejects. Okay, harvesting not at the proper not at the proper quality, and also producing the cacao beans not the appropriate variety that is recommended. So tal wala gyud 'no, talagang mismatch. So, but the next question is, how can a small farmer, uh, do this? How can a small farmer? But there are things that a small farmer can do. Maybe I can ask you, if you have, uncle, if you have your lolo, if you have your father producing cacao, how do you how do you, process the cacao beans from the pod to the drying area? How do you process? If I am not mistaken, this is how you process. You break the cacao pod, and then you swallow the cacao fresh cacao beans, and then maybe you extract the slimy part there, and then throw it away and put in the in the bilao, in the basket, and dry under the sun. I'm sure most farmers are still doing that. What's wrong with that? Very wrong, because it's not the right kind of fermentation that is needed in the market. There should be an appropriate fermentation, because the 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 switch point, in other words, the selling point of this particular product is the quality of fermentation. Okay, so there is a fermentation that after fermentation you dry it, and it will produce a very aromatic, ready for the market. No, just by drying alone, it commands a price already. Imagine if you sell the cacao, maybe 10-15 pesos per pod. But once you take out the beans and dry and ferment it correctly, it can command a price of as much as 160 per kilo. So that's something else. But because of that, these are farmers. These are uh, activities that are creating a disconnect between the market and the producer. Another is poor access to major market due to lack of market infrastructure. That's right. No, due to lack of market infrastructure, like for example, uh, transport infrastructure. The road facility transport, the very poor, and very only passable during dry season, and that's another thing. So that's why farm to market road is very important. Lack of relevant market information. Maybe farmers are really no uh, uh, denied access, if not has no access to market information. That's something else. This access thing will be provided by the government through strategic market information, assisting them. No, now, sorry. After dealing with the sorry, after dealing with the impediments or obstacles of the marketing subsystem at the farmers level, we go to the traders level. What are the issues in the agribusiness marketing system at the traders level? One is irregularity of volume. Yun talaga. Pag very inconsistent yung volume nyo, I forget about selling to upscale buyers. Okay? Forget about selling to upscale buyers. So, inconsistent volume, and of course, quality. Okay? As I was telling my former students, we have this group of housewives in also in Ormoc. Now, their husbands are producing all sorts of pinakbit or pakbit vegetables, no? With chai, you have cabbage, you have beans, eggplant, etc. No, and also even cauliflower. They also the pakbit, no, and then the chop suey vegetable, also the cauliflower. They're producing that. But the housewives are just left at home. Maybe the housewives will help them in the marketing activities. But we were thinking about what sort of livelihood that is that the housewives can do even at home only, no, caring for the children or for the no, and then provide already an additional income for the school children in the going to school, and then provide a little income, something like that. So we were thinking about it, and we have this discussion with the buyers from Cebu, representative buyers from wholesalers, and even the, as I said, Metro Gaisano. They opened us an idea, like, okay, don't you know that we will buy this alugbati leaves, fresh alugbati leaves, okay, and we can buy it at like uh, we will buy your fresh alugbati leaves about how much was that? 150 per kilo or even 200 pesos per kilo. Fresh alugbati, leaves. The purple ones are more expensive than the green ones. So they can, we were thinking, wow, and it is they need that every other day. How much? How many kilograms every other day? If you can supply us, we need 400 kilos every other. Can you imagine? All the housewives in that particular barrio can also participate, because, for example, one household or one housewife can commit, for example, just 1 kilo every other day. If you have a backyard filled with with alugbati, you can harvest, because fast growing man you can harvest maybe 1 kilo every other day. Just 1 kilo is one handful, no? 1 kilo of fresh alugbati leaves. And we thought of like, oh, this is good livelihood for the housewives. But boy, comes the requirement. The requirement is be sure that the alugbate will reach our place, our storehouse, our storage house 2 hours after harvest. Wow, dili pwede. Hindi pwede yan. Why? Because we are 2 hours away from Ormoc to Cebu, and the supercut is the only one that can do that. But supercut will not allow vegetables to inside their boat. So, wala. Hindi nangyari. No? And then plus, of course, 300 kilos or 400 kilos every other day. You say, can we, how many hundreds of housewives can we recruit for this? No problem for the recruitment, but the main obstacle is the quality requirement. 2 hours after harvest, dapat nandoon na yan sa stalls nila. No? So that's difficult. So wala, hindi nangyari. No? So that is regularity and volume. No? Every other day, God, 300 kilos. No? Another problem at the traders level is the lack of market infrastructure, which results in increased marketing cost. Of course, no? Increased marketing cost. Other is you have competition due to relatively many traders handling the same products. Okay, that's also one thing. Competition. Sometimes or more oftentimes, competition will not only ano, drive the price up, but will also, if they collude with each other, drive the price down. No? It's disadvantage to the buyer. Now you have the at the farmers level, you have problems at the traders level. There is also a problem at the consumers level, marketing problem. One is high prices of agricultural produce. Okay, once it reaches the consumers level, mahal na. Talagang mas mas mura nung binili pa doon sa farm, pero mas mahal na nung dumating na doon sa shelves. Imagine, they'll buy for example, the bell pepper, no? Bell pepper. They'll buy the bell pepper at the farm, or I mean, if OB or Mokport, no? If OB or Mokport, they'll buy it at 180 pesos per kilo. But they will display it in the shelves for 180 pesos per kilo. Now, can you imagine the difference? But they assume all the risk. Ato, wala naman. The inefficiency of the transaction is what makes it more expensive. Okay? If you are very close to the market, you can command a higher price. And if you have a good harvesting facilities, you can command a price. That's always the case. No? Now, variability in the quality of agricultural products, very inconsistent also quality. That's why consumers are also really finding it difficult to maintain their purchases at a of a good quality product. No? Now, let's go to the strategies for various types of farm products or various types of agribusiness products. For fresh farm products, what is important there is efficient and quickness in reaching the market. Another is strategy is who are your buyers? Are they after quality or are they after for volume or are they after for whatever characteristic, quality characteristic? What farm products do they also buy? No? These are these are part of this whole entire strategies. No? What kind of farm products? No? How much, and then uh, who are they? Who are your buyers? So how much volume and how often? How often do they buy? Very important. Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung Gaisano needs 300 kilos of alugbati leaves every other day. So you have to ano, do not, according to them, do not sign a contract with us if you cannot satisfy. Otherwise, we'll penalize you because every day of delay will cost us a lot of opportunity loss. So, kailangan you really need to That's why ang mga farmer, when they think that they cannot satisfy the volume consistency requirement, they will sell to other buyers. But still, a good price, but not the price offered by this no, upscale market or upscale buyers. So, fresh farm product, what are the buyers, where are they located, and what are the types of business or organizations are they? Because the business organization will matter. For example, uh, Gaisano Metro retail store. Okay, they buy in bulk, but they pay bank to bank. So what does it mean? You have to have a bank account. The organization or the seller has to have a bank account. So it took us a while before this organization will have their own bank account. So what is the very important requirement? Kailangan registered organization. Not only registered, it's also accredited by BIR. Okay, although it's tax free, but at least you can issue receipt because the buyer needs receipt. Okay, so that's very important requirement. But individual farmers cannot do that. So that's why we have to deal with cluster or organization, group of farmers. That's how we can address this particular problem. No? For what purpose will this uh, buyers? What's the buying behavior? Okay, and what are the product requirements of the buyers also? Okay, now that is the I know the like for example the buying requirements. Now let's go to another marketing strategy, which is product strategy for farm products. What is the product strategy? Okay, the product strategy, wala nang ibang product strategy there, but to sell quality product. Quality and aesthetically attractive. No? So, good quality nga, pero pangit naman tingnan. So, wala din. Walang mangyayaring market transaction. Because the appearance, the quality, you can judge the quality because it is fresh product. So, it should appear fresh. Okay? If you are selling good quality but lanta na, wala na. Uh, you lost in the process. No? So just like for example, this one, product strategies for farm products. You see, even the appearance looks very edible already. No, oh, that one. If you see this kind of product with all labels and packed in a very nice, ano, say for example, styrofoam boxes with cling wrap, it can add value already. Look at the sweet potato sold in upscale supermarket, like for example in Manila, in SM, or in Cebu also, Robinsons, sweet potato, no, sweet potato. You can buy sweet potato outside in the Talipapa market. How much? Maybe 25, 35 pesos per kilo. But how much are they selling at the supermarket? 120? Can you imagine? But it's packed, it's wrapped in boxes, just like that, no? In boxes, also in plastic, like cling wrap. Okay? These are product strategies that can command a better price. Okay, the fresh product can should command a better price if it is good of good quality. Okay, now it will generate more value adding, say, revenue. Okay, now there is also what we call as distribution strategies for fresh product. You have very important production scheduling. Okay, so production scheduling, you cannot expect to harvest all together at the same time. That's why if you have a cluster of farmers, maybe 100 farmers, you are dealing with 100 farmers. Or maybe 100 is too much, maybe 50 or even 30 farmers. Now we have to schedule the harvesting so that consistently we can supply the no the like the volume requirements of the market at the right quality and at the right quantity. Program the planting, program the harvesting. That's how we did it. We have this different group of farmers cultivating this protective cropping of high value vegetables. For example, lettuce. You have also tomatoes, these salad tomatoes, and you also have bell peppers. We have to schedule relay planting so that in the market you will also deliver to the in relays of good quality and good quantity, like harvest. So very efficient. Okay, very efficient. Then you have also very important in distribution strategies is that you have to have a network also of buyers. Although buyers, especially the large buyers, they will tell you you have to deal with me. Also, you have to deal with me, and I promise that you will have you will not regret your transaction with me. But as an individual, say seller, you have to think of pullback position. Think about in case of like for example deviations, you have an alternative buyer to sell, no, so that you want because there are always unavoidable, for example, transactions in the market or even situations in the production aspect, like for example you cannot satisfy the needed volume, so you just you just sell to the the buyer who can really accommodate your volume requirement. And then not only that, they have there will be price competition. So you have to have fallback position so that whoever offers a good price, to kabaligya, no? So what about promotion strategies for fresh from products? Promotion is, of course, you uh, participate in trade fairs. You also participate in market matching activities. DTI, DA has a lot of these things, no? Trade fairs. They call it the Bahandi trade fairs. Daghan pa ng daghan pa ng uban nga mga trade fairs sponsored by DTI, DOST also, and also the Department of Agriculture. Now, what about semi-process? Well, we do market analysis for semi-process because these are products that are of stable form, so that we would know what kind of processing requirement they need. So if they need to be packed in styrofoam boxes, barcoded, so that's the level of processing you will have to deal with your market. So In other words, understand your buyers very well. Okay. Now, and also create innovation. If you know that there is premium for organically grown products or safe agricultural products, then go for it. No, you sell these products. If they provide premium for GAP certified products, then go create innovation. Okay, and then also practice like hygienic packaging, something like that. Oh, good agricultural practice or GAP. No, product mix to handle also very important. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, as the saying goes. Meaning to say, you have not only volume but variety. You have eggplant here, eggplant there, and then onions here, and the cauliflower here, and several other things. Diverse, I know, so that if you get a very low price for this kind of vegetable, you will get a better price for the other. So at the end of the day, you will get a good result from your diversification. Now, price determination also very important. No, demand, cost, and competition also. You would have to have this understood in the market analysis. Okay, so with that thing in mind, or thing at the back of our mind and in our heart, we have already some kind of like understanding what this marketing subsystems in the Philippines is facing, and what are also some of the say for example obstacles and like pressing issues that we are dealing, and what are the solutions for that. Okay, so these are the situations. I'm giving you only a kind of scenario and even the possible strategies, and what are the different types of products, and of course the various activities in the market, for you to be aware that these are the things that are needed in a particular market transactions in the agribusiness systems. So with that, thank you, and have a good day. You go back or you go to our chat group and see if you have some questions, then I will interact with that and also provide you with the answers. And please, as I have told you, you answer the examinations that I will post and follow the instructions in there. I will post the exam papers tomorrow, and please follow instructions and submit appropriately on time. So with that note, thank you, and I will see you uh, next meeting.